Hey, what's up everyone, Nixon here, hope you're having a wonderful day. Today I'm going to show you how you can do this effect. It's a text orbiting a real-world object effect. Personally, I think it's a really cool effect and I'm going to show you how you can do it in Adobe After Effects. And I'm going to show you how you can do it in two different ways. One is without using any plugins and the other is by using a plugin called Element 3D. I will start with the plugin version of this effect using Element 3D. If you want to skip to the version without using any plugins, skip to this time. But first, I just quickly want to tell you the difference between using these two different methods. Without any plugins, I will just show you how you can make this 2D text rotate around your object and that's it. It's really easy and there is not so much customization you can do without any plugins. You can obviously change the color of the text, add some lights and shadows, and that's about it. Just the basic customization options available in After Effects. With Element 3D, you can make your 2D text into 3D and you can customize it, add materials, you can change and shape it however you want. You can replace the text with any object and there's a lot of cool things you can do with Element 3D and I strongly recommend you getting this plugin and trying it out. If you want to learn more about this cool plugin Element 3D, go and search on YouTube and you will find not many but some tutorials on how to use it. And it's quite expensive, but you could buy it or you could just, Google for it. Anyways, let's jump into it. Okay, so after opening up After Effects, we're going to import our clip. I have mine right here, and I was thinking about doing the text around the bottle, but I think we'll stick to the cactus. So import the cactus into your project, and we're going to make a new composition by dragging it down here. We're just gonna quickly rename it to cactus, and I'm going to quickly trim my trim comp to work area. So by dragging these ends to what I want to work with and then hitting right clicking and trim comp to work area. So I'm just quickly going to select the part I would like to work with. Not too much because I'm going to try to make this a short video. I think this is enough. Okay, what we're going to do now is track the camera. So we're going to hit track the camera in the tracker. And you have the tracker panel on your right. If you don't, you can go to window and select the tracker. And just click the track camera when you're standing in the composition window of your footage. And you can see here it started tracking and it says how long it will take for it to track. So let's wait. Okay, so after it finished tracking, we're going to select some points we would like the text to be placed at. You can also just zoom in and hold space to move around to get closer and it be a little bit easier to find the points you like. Okay, I think I'm just going to go with this one. So left click and then right click and create a null and camera. I'm just going to hide my camera because I don't need it and I don't either need the null. After that I'm going to duplicate my cactus by hitting Ctrl D and I'm going to rename it to environment. And I'm going to right click on it, go to time and freeze frame. And actually before we do that, I just hit Ctrl Z, we're going to delete 3D camera tracker of the layer we just copied and renamed. And after we deleted the 3D tracker, we're going to right click, time and freeze frame, like that. The next step is to go right click, hit new and create a solid. We're going to name it the solid a 3D text, like that. And now we're going to go select the 3D text, go to effect, video copilot, element.
When we applied the effect to the 3D text, we can quickly create the text we want to have be orbiting the object. I'm just going to write cactus, because this is a cactus, like that. Maybe we'll put some spaces between to make it more cool, more cinematic, you know. It's not necessary, but you know, for fun. Now go back to your 3D text. We can actually hide the cactus, and I'm just going to release my caps. Go to 3D text, go to render settings and physical environment, select override layer environment, go to custom layers, custom texture maps, select environment here too, go to custom text and mask, path layer 1, and select the text you wrote. In my case it's cactus. And I think that's about it. Let's go to scene setup and hit extrude. And now we have our text in 3D. We can quickly just change the materials. I would like mine to actually this is a cool material, wireframe. And you can mess around in these settings as much as you want, but I'm not going to go in depth in it. There are plenty of things you can change. Hit OK. Cool, now we have the 3D text in element 3D, sorry. What we're going to do now is go to our track node, hit P for position, go back to our 3D text, group 1, and we're going to go to particle replicator, and we're going to copy paste the position from the track node to 3D text, so the text sticks to our tracking node. So copy the X to position X, and copy the Y to position Y, and copy the Z to position Z. Oh, I actually made a mistake. You're not supposed to hide the 3D tracker. You could hide the null. I accidentally told you to hide it in the start, but just show it back again by hitting this I button. It's basically hide or show. So you need to show the 3D tracker camera. So now when we play, you can see that the cactus is sticking to our 3D tracker point. We just need to make it bigger and realign it. You can make it bigger by going to particle look and particle size. Maybe I'll go something like 25 or 30. Maybe 30. Yeah, that looks about what we like. And now you can also move the position X and Y as you want, and it will stick to the tracking node. Now to the fun part. We need to make this text look like it's orbiting around our cactus. So first off, we need to make it roundish. So go back to group 1, go to deform, under particle look under group 1, go to deform and bend, and hit enable. Bend direction, we want to bend on the x-axis, so write 90 here and bend it however much you want. Something 320 maybe is good. And I'm just going to go to rotation under group 1 and rotate it so it matches the pot. Maybe I'm going to scale it up a little bit more. Let's go big, 60, good enough. So now it's round, that's cool. Actually, let me bend it a little bit less, maybe 260, and scale it down to 50, and just maybe fix the, yeah, okay. And another thing is under bend, you need to hit the center button so it's in the center of the tracking point, and just realign it so it looks good. Now to make it rotated around the cactus, what we want to do is go to rotation and go to the first frame of your sequence or comp and hit the Y ticking clock icon, go to the end, and maybe we want it to rotate it one time around Y axis, so it's 360 degrees. So now when we play it back, we can see that it rotates kind of around the cactus, but it doesn't look good, and the reason for that is because the text is not going behind the cactus as we want, and to do that we need to use masks, and that's always fun because that takes a lot of time to mask it good, and I haven't found a way to like do it in any simple way, so you just have to use masks. And the way you do it is a little bit special with Element 3D. What you need to do is actually hit your 3D text, go right click under here somewhere, create new, and make a new solid, and we can name it masks. Hit OK. Now the mask is over 3D text, and in the 3D text go to right over here, and where you can select which matte it is. If you don't have this panel, you can hit toggle switches and modes, so it goes from this to this, and on the 3D text go and select alpha matte masks. Basically you're creating a solid and you're applying masks to this layer, because if you apply masks to the text layer like a normal person would do, it actually doesn't work as you think. So that's a bummer, and you actually need to make a layer over it and use a matte, I don't know how to pronounce it. Anyways, after you did that, you can go to your pen tool, go to the start of a clip, go select the pen tool, and we're going to mask out this part of the cactus because that's where the text is going to go behind. If we move forward, the text is supposed to be behind the cactus, but it isn't. So this is a tedious process, and we're going to just start masking out. And I'm going to go slowly in the start and speed it up in a minute. So I just created mask and now my text disappeared. That's because we need to invert the mask. Go to the mask, hit M on your keyboard, go to mask and invert, like that, and click the mask path icon, the stopwatch icon. Now move to where the text is supposed to go behind. Sorry. And you need to adjust the mask because the camera moves. And right here it's looking okay. Maybe move the mask a little bit, like so, and just keep on doing it for the rest of the clip, and just you need to be precise. And now the mask moved again, so I'm just going to continue doing this for like 10 or 15 minutes. Oh, I just realized something, we need to move this too. So you don't need to do this for each frame, but try to do it as often as possible so it looks good. We're going to feather it out later, so it don't have to be so precise, but try to be as precise as possible. Yeah, I'm going to speed this up. Okay, so I'm done with my mask, and if we play it back, it looks something like this. Looks really good, actually, better than I thought. So we're going to just adjust the mask a little bit by going to the mask properties and hitting, maybe we're going to first expand the mask by maybe 20 pixels, and we're going to feather it by maybe 40ish, so it looks like we can actually see the spikes coming through. Of course, it depends on what type of object you're masking out. If it was a bottle, maybe you don't need that much feather, but you can just play around with the feather and the expansion, and yeah, see what looks good. So there isn't much more to it. You can just play around yourself, mess around, and just have fun. Also in the scene setup, you can do plenty of things with the text. And also it doesn't need to be text. You can change it to any 3D model you want. But I won't be going into that. Okay, that's it for this part of the tutorial. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how you can do the orbiting effect around a real object without using any plugins. So after importing your footage and dragging and dropping it down here to make a comp, you're going to go to the text tool and write some text, like so. What you're going to do now is go to effects and presets. If you don't have that, you can go to window and effects and presets, write CC cylinder and drag and drop it onto your text. What it does is it makes your text into a cylinder, like so. And you can change the position, rotation, and if you can see, it rotates in a cylindrical way. Let me just change the radius back to 100 and maybe rotate it a little bit so it looks nicer. Just align it like so, and now we want it to rotate around our cactus, something like maybe this. First of all, we need it to go behind the cactus, and to do that we need to separate our real object from the background. To do that, we're going to go to our footage. Let me just rename it to cactus footage, like so. And we're going to rotoscope the cactus out from the background. So double click on cactus footage, go to rotobrush, go to the start of the frame where you want to rotoscope. Actually, let me just trim the comp a little bit because I don't want to have it so long, and just trim my work area. So yeah, double click on your cactus, it selects the layer, go to the start of your frame, select the rotobrush, and we're going to start rotobrushing our cactus out. And you see this black dotted line, you want to drag it out till it matches the footage. This is the black line, is how much you want the computer to rotoscope out the object for you. So I want the whole work area to be rotoscoped. So in the first frame I select my cactus, and I'm just going to do a rough selection like so, hit space, and it's going to try and rotoscope it as best as possible for you. If it just glitches out or jumps out, you can click space to stop it and just go back and adjust some points like so, and hit space again. And if you want to, if it accidentally selects more, you can hold Alt and deselect, like so. Go away. Now continue, hit space, and I think it's done. Yep. Now when you go back to your composition, you can see that it tried to select the cactus pot as best as possible. And for me, the most important part was to have this pot selected as best as possible, not the cactus. It's okay that it's not perfect. Now we're going to duplicate the cactus layer. We're going to go to the bottom layer and we're going to delete the rotobrush. Now we have the rotobrush on our top layer, and we can rename this to cactus foreground, and this is cactus background. Cactus background. Hit enter to rename. Now what we want is to animate the rotation of the cactus text. So go to the start of your clip, hit rotation Y, and let me just reset this to 0, 0, and hit the stopwatch icon, go to the end, and we want to rotate it one time around, so 360 degrees. So we can see the text rotates around the cactus one time for the length of the clip. Now what we want to do is duplicate this layer. So hit Ctrl D to duplicate it, drag it under the cactus foreground, have one text under the cactus foreground and one on top. What we're going to do is on the top text select the render and outside, and on the bottom text select the render and inside. And what it does is that everything that is behind this cactus we just rotoscoped out will be removed. And you can see it rotates around the object. One big problem with this technique without using any plugins is that you cannot track it to the object. I tried it and I haven't found a way to do it. I tried to track my cactus with using the track camera and then creating a node and sticking this text to that node, but it just doesn't work. For me, this is good enough. You can use it with an object that doesn't move, so if your camera stands still, this is good enough effect in my opinion, and it works. It's not perfect, and yeah, at least it's a really quick and easy way to create orbiting text around the object. You can customize it in the character panel right here, but you should have done it before creating duplicates, because now you have to do it on the both layer, which takes too long time for me. So customize your text at the start and then add CC cylinder, change maybe the radius and width and position it however you want. Only after that you're going to track one layer, and only after that you're going to duplicate it and select the render position inside and outside. So yeah, that's about it. Personally, I prefer the Element 3D plugin to do this because it's so much better. But yeah, I hope this tutorial was helpful and you learned something new. If something was unclear, please leave a comment and I'll try to answer it as fast as possible. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.